everybody, it's Taylor here, and I am stopping by today to show you our Designer Dangles collection. So we released this initial Designer Dangles die as part of a kit back in October, and we were just so excited and impressed with all the amazing ideas that you guys have shared with these dies. And so we decided to come up with some more for you guys to play with. So I know lots of people are excited about this. I wanted to start, in case you haven't seen, this is the original Designer Dangles die set, and it is sold separately now. So I know a lot of people like to pick up two of these, as there is just one of each shape in the die set. You can see when I turn that over the actual size of those dies. So there's only one of each shape, so some people like to buy two so you can cut both earring shapes at the same time. So that's an option now. You can purchase this separately from the kit. Okay, are you ready to see the new dies? We have 3 new sets. First up, we have what's called Designer Dangles Free Flow. So this one includes 3 different shapes that layer on top of each other, and I will show you some examples of what that looks like. You can also combine those with other previously released shapes and some of the new shapes as well. Next up, we have Designer Dangles Shapeshifter. So this includes a lot of geometric shapes, and you can see this chevron here that's designed to kind of go together with jump rings. I'm going to show an example of that as well. Then we have this one where you actually do get 2 shapes because they cannot be flipped to use, so you need both of those. And then you have a bar here. You can use this individually. I've seen kind of fringing on this die, so you could cut strips up and kind of layer those together. So lots of fun, more geometric options in the Shapeshifter piece. And then last we have Designer Dangles, the bigger the better. So this is something that was requested by many people to have a very large earring shape. We actually were able to get 4 different shapes in there, or sizes, I mean. It's all the same shape. You can see the very largest one here, and it is about 3 inches from top to bottom. So that's a pretty large earring there, but you can always use just those smaller ones too if you're not a huge fan of the big earrings. But I know that's a really fun trend that lots of people are enjoying. Now, one thing that I did not mention, you may have noticed when I flip these over, you can see that these dies are black in color. And on the front of our packaging, we have here mixed media die. So a mixed media die for us means that the die cut line is thicker and will cut through thicker materials. It still cuts in your same machine if you're using a Cuttlebug or a Big Shot or whatever normal die cut machine you would use with your silver steel dies, you would also use with these black dies, but it will allow you to cut through some of the thicker material like our craft leather. So now that you have seen the new dies, I want to show you we have our old previously released craft leather, and we have some new packs of craft leather. So our craft leather is a craft leather, so it's not an actual real leather. It is faux leather on the front, and then on the back is kind of a softer felt material. So this is our original pack that was sold with our kit. It includes a pretty gray with a gold, a silver, and then our cork with gold fleck. So that is now available separately from the kit also. And then after that, we released our black and white kit. So we have the black and white buffalo check, we have a black and white stripe, and then we have just the white and the black. So that's another fun one that is going to be really cool to pair with some of our new felt. This one in particular, this is our new craft leather colorful, we're calling it. So it includes kind of a raspberry red and a strawberry red, a little bit darker and a little bit lighter in that same tone. Then we have a teal, which of course is my favorite, and kind of an eggplant purple, which is really pretty. I don't wear a lot of purple, but I am loving that color. And all of these look awesome when you pair them with, if I bring back in here, I can show you what those all look like with the black and white patterns. So I'll show some actual samples of that here in a minute, but I really am loving this colorful collection. Next up, we have our craft leather burnished, we are calling it. This has a kind of burnished metallic look. You can see how pretty that is. It sort of has flecks of black mixed in with a bronze. So this one is my favorite in the pack, and we have paired it with 3 additional metallic burnished options. So you have kind of a pewter color here. This is a light dusty gold, and then you have your traditional gold. So these can be paired with any of our previously released leathers for some really kind of classic looks for earrings and something that you would wear day to day. And then last, this one is our weave leather. So this is one of my favorites. Now this pack, you only get 2 sheets in the design, and it is very limited in quantity. So if you're seeing this video a little later and this one is not available, I apologize for that, but it is really a fun leather option for cutting these earrings. You can cut them this way, you can cut them this way, and just take full advantage of all of the texture in this particular pack. So only 2 sheets in this pack, the others all had 4. Okay, so now you've seen the leathers, and I want to show you some of our new accessories. I mentioned, and you saw that the chevron. Now, in order to attach those pieces of the chevron together, you will need what's called jump rings. So we now offer a pack of jump rings, and you get both gold and silver, plenty in the pack to make many pairs of earrings with those. As usual, we still continue to offer our earring wires. So there are 5 pairs of gold and 5 pairs of silver in this one pack. And to celebrate this new launch, we have a new collection of charms. So this, if I just take it out of the bag, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. These are the new leaf charms. We still do have the older leaf charms that we started with, our previously released ones. And you can see what those look like here. There is 2 leaves in each color, so enough to make 1 pair of earrings in each of those different colors. Okay, now I want to show you some samples that I've been making. I have been just cutting up a storm, kind of playing with all these different options. Before I get into the new samples, let me show you a few that were made with our first die set. So you guys, if you picked this one up, you probably recognize these. This is the feather that's part of that die set, and then these are the other 2 pieces that kind of layer on top of each other. And they all do layer together. You could put this small guy on top of the feather here. You can see over here I have done some heat embossing. I used gold embossing powder, and I just masked the other side of the earring with some purple tape, and then added my Versamark and embossing powder to get kind of that 2-tone look on the craft leather, which is really, really fun. So those are from our first previously released set, Designer Dangles. And then I will bring this back into the picture so you can see and remember what that was. So Designer Dangles Free Flow includes the 3 layers of earring. And you can see how they just kind of creates this flowy look. And here it's spread out, and here it's all together. So you can kind of mix and match different patterns and colors. I will say that 3 layers of craft leather does get kind of thick in these earring wires, but you can play with even just 2 layers. If you want to leave off that 3rd layer, you can see what that would look like. So this is one of the pairs I've made with our new burnished leathers paired with our weave leather there. And that is one of my favorite. I also took the Free Flow and paired the colorful leather with our black and white. So I have that pair of teal color on the small earrings, and then the black and white on the medium size. And then on this pair, I just left that large size off. So there are a couple pairs that you can see with the Free Flow die. I think that one will be really fun, and I am excited to continue using it with lots of the other dies. I'm excited to try it with the original feather that came out. Okay, so the second set that I showed you was Designer Dangles Shapeshifter, and this includes the geometric patterns. So I mentioned that bar and this pair of kind of trapezoid shaped earrings. These are really fun. I've already cut and worn a pair of these cut from our weave leather here, and I love them. So they go with every outfit that I wear. I'm pretty neutral in my color combos that I like to wear. Then I mentioned the unique die here, which is the Shapeshifter. So I have one that I have cut out here and not put together so that I can show you guys how that goes together. The first 2 layers have 2 holes, top and bottom, so that you can attach those to the layer below with the jump ring. And the last layer only has 1 hole, so that you just attach it to the top layer and then it looks finished there at the bottom. I have a pair here that I have already finished using that chevron die that I want to show you. I used the craft leather colorful pack, so you can see the pretty colors in there, the strawberry and the teal, and then the eggplant. And then those are connected together with jump rings and then the earring wire in the top hole. So I'm going to show you how I put that together. And before I do, I want to mention that I also cut these out twice, and I used a fabric glue to adhere them together so that if my earrings get twisted while I'm wearing them, both the front and the back are going to look finished. So it did create a little bit of a thicker piece here for me to put together with those jump rings. So there's not as much flexibility in the earring in the way that it moves. I will show you one other one before I put this together so you can see. This is one that I did with 3 colors, just kind of a more neutral option. And you can see that it is a lot more flexible. I did not put any kind of backing on this one, so this is what the back looks like. And then when you kind of rustle these around, they could get twisted, and you might see the back. Now, if that doesn't bother you and you want that little bit of more movement, then I would say just keep it like this with 1 layer. But if you want to try that back-to-back layer for a more finished look, that is an option with this as well.